Hello and welcome back to Building a Space Elevator again, and this is episode number 26, so let's get started. Alright, so the main attraction of today's episode is going to be this ship, which is a starter build. It's not complete, but we kind of built out the skeletons of it to try to get something that we could fly into space, to the moon, to look for platinum and uranium. Well, uranium through asteroids, searching and jumping. So before we get there, we had to start digging out some more resources. And once again, looks like we've refined everything that we needed to refine. And I think we still have a ton of iron still left in the system. Not too much, but a decent amount. So the first thing I did in this episode was actually to go down here, redesign the whole drilling system down here. Instead of having a rotor with some pistons to make it very, very shaky, I attached it to a connector to a platform that's on the ground. So I had to be very particular in measuring out where the ground piece is, where the cargo container is, and connect it here. So this way we don't get that crazy shakiness from connecting the pipe system down here to the rotor and everything like that. But interesting piece was that when I put a steel plate down or a light armor block down, and I put one very close to it, it kind of magnetized into it and built it together. So I retried it like three to five times, as you probably saw in the time lapse. Kept on building it, grinding it, building it, grinding it, and so forth. But I found the sweet spot, able to connect it this way, and now I can build a drill system towards this way. So then that way we don't have that crazy shakiness. So I drilled out most of the irons as much as I could, but there's a lot more going this way. So I got to build something to go that way. I mean, obviously I should have just built something from the top to drill down. That would have worked out fine too. But we got most of the iron out of this, so that kind of worked out. It was a simple drill system. A few pistons going this way, one piston going up, and a hinge to do a little bit of the sweeping to gather all the iron that's on top. And it did pretty well, but again, there's still a nice slab of iron right over here. So yeah, we did spend a lot of time doing that for whatever reasons. And yeah, the next main attraction, other than how far the welder rig has gone, is the ship that I'm preparing to launch to the moon to look for platinum, and also go probably asteroid hopping to look for some uranium, because we're gonna need some uranium power soon. So basically, this is the skeleton version of it. I'm gonna have to put the designs and stuff like that outside eventually. And right now, as it stands, has 4 hydrogen tanks. The more spherical, the more sphere-shaped one. What is it called? The industrial one. Let's just call it industrial one instead of the spherical version. Yeah, anyways, I put 4 of those here, connected to a pipe right here that goes into more piping and blah 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 into the cargo container. So it's gonna be 1 large cargo container or detector, 4 large hydrogen thrusters, so forward and backwards, and a 5th one going upwards. And the rest is likely going to be small hydrogen thrusters, and a lot of them as well. So more importantly, upwards we needed it for gravity planets, but sideways and downwards we don't really need it too much. I mean, we could add a large upwards one, but I don't think it's necessary. We'll just put a line of side and upwards and downwards pistons for the most case. But as it stands, without anything in the cargo, this thing flies fairly well already. So I wouldn't really imagine changing it too much. But of course, we need to redesign it a little bit. So this thing is equipped with a regular cockpit, O2H2 generator, 2 parachute hatches right here, just in case, for my stupidity in terms of piloting. 2 batteries. I think we could probably use 1 or 2 more. An oxygen tank, a gyroscope, connector, and as I mentioned before, an ore detector as well. That's the skeleton. That's the base of what we need, and we'll just design it out. I think I'm just gonna kind of leave it at this height, unless we're gonna put thrusters around certain areas. Probably throw one right here too, but plenty of spaces to throw around. And obviously I want to throw one right over here too. I'll put some kind of connector here. Probably the connector, not connector, conveyor junction piping right here. So I could throw a downwards and a sideways, and even upwards hydrant thrust. Yeah, and of course in the time lapse, if it didn't go too fast, yes, I did create a boo-boo. Took this out without really considering that this piece right here is completely separate from the grid itself once it's unlocked, or this is dismantled. So it fell down, and being a hydrant tank, it did hit the rail system and exploded a bit. But we fixed all that, and we're back with the ship here. I don't have a name for it yet, and I do plan to find a spot to put this drilling system, not that one, but this one, onto it. Probably right either on the back top around here, or somewhere down here in between this thruster and back here. Either one works out fairly well, and the reason why we're going to bring that is so that we could mine stuff a little faster than our hand drill. We don't have a drill system obviously in the large grid ship, so we're not going to worry too much about that. But yeah, the ship should be turning out pretty good looking, or decent looking at least, and we're probably going to evolve as we go, as we always do. But yeah, definitely I think it's going to be more than enough hydrogen to go to the moon and back without any issues. I mean, if we're worried about it, we could probably slap on 2 more O2H2 generators, put some ice in the cargo, and then it will kind of recharge the hydrogen tanks a little bit. Not too much, but a decent amount. A bit of a shorter episode because most of it was digging and the other was building the ship, and kind of just watching the welder rig kind of do its thing and get as far as possible. I'm going to make a quick little pit stop to iron station number 2, so get some more iron filled up in our system. Alright, so we definitely should make some kind of automation here. To start gathering all this crazy iron that's over here. Just very, very bouncy right now. So it makes it a little bit harder. Did I just break that off? Yes I did. That's not good. Okay. Is it because it's stuck with stuff in here? Nope. Okay, so it kind of looks like the hinge dropped a little bit for some reason, so we should bring it back up a little bit. That's not up. Oop, that's a little too much. And that's a little too low. Alright, so that should kind of do it. So we gotta rotate the rotor a little bit. Oop, wrong way. Let's go the other way. And that should do it. It's a little too wobbly for my liking, but not much we could do about it at this point. Alright, so if I remember correctly, we just did velocity of 0.1. And just let it go forward, get all the iron. Ooh, this might be a little bit too close to the right side, so should be okay. It looks like we're gonna gather a lot of stone too. But this is gonna give us a lot more iron that we need, so that should be okay. Let's just check these piston heads that make sure they're not broken. Alright, that's fine. It's definitely too wobbly for my liking as well. Alright, we'll let that go. And let's check on the welder rig. Alright, so we're here at the welding rig. Take a wild guess how far we made it from the base. We are at 43 kilometers away. So significant progress there. That's pretty good. Actually, that's really good. And let's see what's in here. So we still have significant amounts of large steel plates, but we are running low on the other stuff for once. So that's interesting. All right, so we definitely need to reproject right over here. And in order to do that, I need to find a way to connect this point into this merge. But it looks like I need to back this thing up a little bit And backing this thing up has been 50-50 chance of breaking. So we do it one piston at a time basically now, instead of all of them. Because right here, this is where it can break the entire thing. And that looks like it's a bit low. Oh, no, it's fitting like a glove. So that worked out okay. That got pretty lucky on that, I guess. Alright, so I'm just gonna bring everything back because of this piping. To prevent the pipings from being built is blocking my merge. So that's a problem for now. If I can just back it up just enough, and I think it will, we should be okay to get that kind of connected. And we're pretty much right there, so that's pretty good. All right, so we're gonna use interior pillars. We're not even gonna build them out. We're just gonna, ooh, actually we can't do this because we need this thing to be forward. So that's yeah, we need to be in front of that over there. So that's not good. It looks like I might have to dismantle this whole thing and then rebuild it. So that's a pain in the butt. All right, so whatever. I mean, we could bring the projector back, but I don't really feel like bringing the projector back. As in putting it back there. But I have to reposition everything, which that becomes a big hassle. So I'm just gonna do this. Because the beauty of this projector here, it's already repositioned to where I need it to be. And the way it's rotated and everything like that. So that's the main reason why I don't want to move this back too much. So I'm going to name this randomly so we know which projector we're working with. And it's this one. So the projector that's already within... The projection that's within this projection is the shorter version. So I got to kind of manually put in the right one. So it's a little bit of a pain, but it's a bit of a too late kind of deal because I can't blueprint this whole entire grid and count it from the back end to the front because it's starting from the middle nowadays when I blueprint it. So it's going to be this one here. And this will stretch out pretty far forward. But now the problem is this is in the way. So that's not going to be able to get past the whole merge blocks right over here. So let's just redesign this out a bit. I mean, we could just take it apart because we need to fix it anyways because it looks terrible right this moment. So all we're gonna do is, all right, we're gonna work from the back end because we work from the front. That is not a good deal. The whole thing's gonna fall down, and it's gonna fall down. Well, in the mountains, we'll just lose materials for the most case. So something we don't really care to do, I guess. Okay, so let me just turn this on, let it go forward a little bit, and then we'll build that back to prevent it from building the pipes in front. So turn this on. That's fine. Okay. We'll get this thing moving and welding. Oh, whoops. Gotta get rid of that. That was a little bit dicey. Okay. Luckily, nothing happened. Alright, so we'll build that piece there. And kind of curve it in. I think that should be okay. Yeah, I think it will be fine. And then we just gotta build this all the way out towards the back so the other welders don't weld it up as well. All right, so something weird did happen the first time I loaded up the game for this time lapse this time around, and the game kept on freezing after a minute or so from the save file. Apparently, so when I was inspecting, troubleshooting to see what's going on with the save file, I came here to look at the welding rig, and apparently it was breaking up the rail system somehow and kind of snapped it in half. So every time I loaded it up, the rig was actually just snapping this whole rail system in half, and then it froze the game. I mean, if I waited probably an hour or two, it probably could have released itself once, I guess, the other half of the rail system fell down. It would have released the game from its frozen state, but I wasn't patient enough to wait that long, so I had to go back and do a little bit of a backup situation. So from here on out, there's going to be a lot of that kind of situation because everything gets a little bit laggy, and yeah, things are just not going as smooth as they used to be when there was less blocks. All right, so can we tell how much blocks is on the system here? Here's the whole entire rail system, including the base, everything that's connected, I would assume. 128,207 blocks, and then we have non-armor blocks. And you see the PCU at 375,000. And a whole bunch of conveyors as well. And all that with just 8 lights. And then here you have physical shapes and triangles. So that's interesting information. So yeah, that's the details of this whole entire base, basically. So, I mean, do we just call this thing the base? Oop. It's not even letting me rename this for some odd reason. Oh, I guess because it's still welding? I don't know. That's interesting. I guess it's creating new blocks and resetting it as it's going. So it's not allowing me to do that. But yeah. All right. So once again, we are 43 kilometers away, almost 44. And still going. So we're getting closer to the moon. As you see there, Space Cobalt is 40 kilometers. So again, we started at roughly around 60, so we went 20 kilometers so far. So it's a lot of materials, but we're getting there ever so slowly. And I think we'll make it there probably another 10 episodes, if anything. Hopefully not, but that's my prediction. But that should be it for today. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, you know what to do. And of course, that is to like, subscribe, drop a comment down below, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.